Hi everyone, my name is Julie. Thank you so much for watching. Today I'm going to do a quick little recap about year 2020 and what my project plans have been like and some things that I've learned. I might have four. I think four is going to be my main. There's going to be like a tangential fifth one, but I'm really excited because I feel like this year in particular was a really big growing year for me in terms of project planning and the way I spend my money, because there's a lot of things that happened this year and some of it was due to things outside my control, and some things were due to things in my control, which I thought is really interesting. So let's dive in. First of all, can we just talk about how January, February, and March I kind of went in and I was just like, life is normal. And then March hit, right? And we all learned about what COVID was and how it affected our lives. I was still in Germany at that time, and Germany had a lot stricter rules than here in Tennessee. So it was kind of like a shock. Like, I wasn't able to go to work. So I had a lot more time at home, time on my hands, and I wasn't makeup shopping because I didn't know when the next time I was going to make money was. And I just basically went into storage mode. And then I started this thing, this program called Financial Peace University, which is run by Dave Ramsey. If you don't know him already, he's like a financial advisor, coach type of guy. And his big thing is like getting out of debt. Now, I'm lucky that I was never really in debt, but I never had a budget before either. So it was really interesting to start learning about what money can do without spending it on makeup. So number one thing that I learned in 2020 was budgeting. And it's really interesting because you guys know I was doing this makeup rehab and I've done it now for 2 years. So I've always kind of known what I spent each month on beauty and on makeup and on skincare and hair care and all that jazz. And I think it was really interesting to actually put it down on paper, what I was spending compared to like food. Because, my husband and I were a couple. We spent about $400 on food each month, and I was spending $150 on makeup. So it was kind of like one of those wake up calls where I was like, what? Like, I could go out to eat, or I don't know. That's a week and a half worth of food that I just spent on makeup. And the fact is that I wasn't using it up immediately was also kind of like eye-opening, right? Like, I could have fun, hang out with friends or family, or I could buy makeup. Like, those were the choices I was making without actually realizing it. So I think budget was the number one thing that I learned this year in terms of just like figuring out project planning and how it's supposed to help me. And I think while the last 2 months working at Ulta has not kept my budget. But it's like a work in progress, right? Like, you can't beat yourself over that small stuff because in the long run you're going to get there. And I think project planning kind of started that for me because I could see like how much I could use up in terms of product. Like, how long does it actually take you to use a lipstick? How long does it actually take you to use an eyeshadow palette? And then you have the money side on the other side where you're actually looking at like straight up numbers and percentages, being like, is this the percent that I want to spend on this? Yes or no? So I think that's the number one thing. The second thing kind of goes along with that, and that is patience and forgiveness. It was, I had a lot of highs and a lot of lows this year. So one really high was, for the first time ever, I did a no-buy. I did an unintentional no-buy for an entire month. So for 30 days, I spent nothing. Now, clearly that was during COVID time when there was nothing really open, but I was still going to the grocery store, so I could have picked up like makeup wipes here and there, or I could have picked up, like a lipstick, and I didn't. I just didn't. It wasn't on my mind. I was going on 5-hour walks. Like, it just wasn't part of my life at that time because I didn't need anything. I was using up all this stuff. I was getting empties, and I didn't need to go out and purchase anything because I have backups upon backups upon backups. So I think having patience was important because not only did I see that super high, but also like in the last few months, I've been kind of low because I have blown my budget, right? So I need to have patience with myself to say like, Julie, you know that you went over your budget. Now, like, now you've got the knowledge, you've got the skills to know what to do with your money. You know how to spend your money the best. You've now like studied this for 6 months, 7 months, 8 months. So now like better, like good, better, best practices. So now you get the choice. And I am human. We're all going to make mistakes. We're all going to spend things that, we wish we hadn't, but that's the learning process, right? So just having patience and kind of forgiving myself for my mistakes is always really important to me. I'm super hard on myself many days. Like to the point where I just like run it through my mind, like all the mistakes I've ever made in my life, which is not great. But it's one of those things I'm learning to live with and forgive myself, especially when it comes to Project Panning. Because when it comes to Project Panning, you guys have seen this year, I've had many highs and many lows, and there are lots of things I did not finish. But hopefully, you know, looking towards 2021, these things will get better, they can get better, and I will finish them. It's up to me. I am the master of my own destiny. Number 3, I think it was really important for me to learn how much makeup I actually put on my face each day. I don't know if you remember me doing this video, but it was really fun just to see like how much makeup I actually apply each day. And I didn't put skincare into that, but like in terms of eyeshadow usage, lipsticks, blush, highlighters, makeup sprays, everything that I put on my face, how much that actually costs. And this face right here costs about $250 to $275 a day to do. And I think that was really interesting because there were certain high-end things I was using that I didn't actually think would be that expensive. Because, you know, if you put it over 6-7 months of using that, like a blush or a bronzer, you think, oh, it's just pennies on the dollar. But it actually is true money. So, you know what? Now that I'm thinking about a lot of my, like, takeaways this year, was really just figuring out what's important to me in my life and how money plays into that, and how money will tell you like what's most important to you by what you spend it on. That is really interesting. That like it's an epiphany, because dare I say, but that maybe while makeup is wonderful and lovely and I like playing with it, it doesn't control me, and it's just something that I love, and I should just control the fact that I love it without maybe giving as much time to it. Right? Because makeup is not only the amount that you put on your face, which does have monetary value, it's also about your time. And how do you really want to spend your time? During COVID, I tried like a lot of new things, which I thought was really fun and different. Like my husband and I, we pulled out new recipes. I went on these really, really long walks, which I loved doing. I did a 1,000-kilometer bike ride this summer. Like that was crazy. I never thought I'd get to 1,000 kilometers, and I did. I did it in 3 months, which is crazy. I got super strong. Like I didn't go back to school per se because I didn't do it for college credit or anything. I have my master's and I feel good about that. I don't feel like I need to go back and get another master's or anything like that. But it was fun to learn about different things. Like I learned about international law. I've never known anything about international law, but I started taking these online courses that were free, and it was just kind of fun. And I picked up new crafts, and I'm getting excited to start a new business, and I've learned a lot about that business in this downtime. And I think that became more important to me than going out and spending money on makeup. One of the things I did realize is that, and I kind of knew this in Tacoma, was that every time I was upset, I would go to the drugstore and buy another lipstick, or like buy something to make myself feel good, or I'd clip a coupon and be like, oh, it's such a good deal. And while it's still something that I'm noticing at Ulta as well, currently we're working there, like when I see a really good sale, I'm like, ooh, I should just grab that. It's just slowing down and being like, why do I feel the need to go out and shop? Like there's no need involved, they're all wants. So why do I feel the need to go out and do this? And I think that while I'm having a lot of like self-realization in the moments where you like hang out in your house a lot, it's interesting to think about what you're spending your money to, what you're spending your time to, and is that actually important in your life? My last kind of thought on this, and I know I've kind of rambled here and there, but I hope you got some like good solid chunks in here, is that just because Ulta has a sale doesn't mean you gotta buy it. Especially while working there, I have to continually remind myself, yes, you put out the sale signs, you know what's going to be on sale. That doesn't mean it's going to be a good deal. It's on sale. If you're going to use it day in and day out, and you're going to use it before it goes bad, sure. But Julie, this is your past self speaking to your future. You don't need it. Every product you have in your collection, you got a backup of. There is nothing you don't already have. Eyeliners, got it. Foundations, you have 4. Blushes, you've got enough for 5 years. Bronzers, you got enough for 10 years. Lipsticks, you've got enough for 25 years. There is nothing you need. Every color that you think you want, you already own. Every sort of formula, sure it might be a new formula, you have something similar. Eyeshadows, go into your collection, look around. Are you really going to use that black? Highly doubtful. You already have 5 black eyeshadows that you never touch, ever. How about navies? Not really your jam? Why are you buying something with a navy in it? Like, just think about what you already have in your collection, which is why I do these videos. You guys are my accountability partners. Thank you so much for all that you do. Now it's your turn. I want to hear from you. What are things you have learned in 2020? Have you learned to be more patient with yourself? Have you learned to forgive yourself? Have you learned a little bit about budgeting this year like me? Let me know what you've gotten into in 2020 that's really helped you out. I might check it out. I might not, you know. Thank you so much for watching. I hope this was helpful, and I'll see you in my next one.